Hey, what's up, Raz? Blaming on just one of those days. Trying to mix up a color for the bathing suit. Hey Ryu, how's it going? Hey CF Collector. No, I don't mix any of that. Right now, I'm just combining Wicked colors, Model Air Vallejo, and the Golden to come up with a color for a swimsuit outfit right now. So I normally don't put any other stuff into it. You can if it works for you, but just trying to come up with a nice sort of spandex color. I want it to be like a blue-gray. Which I think we're pretty good for a base color. Hey Jerry, how's it going? Hey Terrell. Paintbrush. Alright, so I just mixed up a basic color. It's kind of like a metallic-y gray blue, pearlized. Should be good for a spandex swimsuit look. I'll add some blacks when I shade it and stuff. What I just do with the paintbrush. So I'm just going to do some trim now. I think I'm going to do this like a lighter gray. It's kind of like a grayish blue, and then a lighter gray. That spot leader. This part comes all the way up there. Maybe I'll do it in a red. Light gray or red, I gotta decide. Here, all the way up to there. Hey, you know what? Let's follow the lines. It's a test item anyway, but should be fun. Oh yeah, I finished on the Troy. I'll probably try to film her tomorrow. Get that video up. Hey Jacob. Hey Quace. Yeah, I picked this up a little while ago. It's kind of a test item. I want to try with clear resin in the liquid. So I haven't really gone too crazy trying to make it perfect. Plus, I'm not really good with 1/6 scale stuff. I basically built a little wall here, like she's in a pool. And what I want to do is put a wall around this here and then pour in clear resin to look like she's standing in water. And I want to get this done soon because I've had that clear resin for too long. I don't know how long it lasts. So we're going to see how this works out. I wish it was a 1/4 scale. I think for now on I'm going to limit myself to the 1/4 scale anime kits. 1/6 is alright, but it's too small for me. Hey Scott. Oh really? Someone's got one? That's cool. Are you gonna print it out? No, I want to spray the whole suit. Well, no, maybe. I don't know if that's gonna work. Nah, that's not gonna work. Yeah, maybe it will. And I could paint a trim on it afterwards. That's what I'll do. Alright, I got an idea. Well, yeah, shoot me an email. I could put you in touch with them, and then you guys can work out the like details on that end. You know. Yeah, I've seen some of the Gantz figures. What is it? The 2B characters or whatever they're called. I never pulled the trigger. There is a new one I've seen, but I never pulled the trigger on them because, like I said, I want to stick to the 1/4 stuff. Plus, I'm kind of tapped out as it is anyway. I got too much as it is. Take a break, Raz. Sound like you worked a lot anyway, so. 3D Moon. I'll have to look into it. Or either that, send me an email with it. That's the thing that sucks about masking. They take a hour or more to mask and 2 seconds to paint it. But I'm gonna try to make this easier. So if my lines are a little messy from masking, I'm going to do the trim in the gray paint. So it should come together when done. Hey John, how's it going? Alright, let me check the email. Let's see. Oh, that's Talia. Alright, I saw that on Instagram. We are collectors. Okay. I didn't know that was her. I just thought it was some like when I saw the file it looked good, but I thought it was just some like Game of Thrones or something character, you know, I wasn't really paying attention. I'm hanging in there. Just a busy week, got a lot of stuff done. Happy about that. Got some packages out the door, that's even better. Kind of organized the house a bit with boxes, so I got everything for commissions in the studio. And now my kitchen isn't as packed with boxes. That feels pretty good. Most of the stuff in the kitchen now is just personal stuff, so that's even better. Also, I got a lot of emails out this past week. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. I've been trying hard to catch up on all the emails. Trying to get everything organized for the year. Of course, I had some people back out because, you know, inflation. But there's other people that get bumped up in line, so just trying to get organized. Hey, butterfly. Kind of wish this wasn't the open back one. I know some of them are, but some of them aren't. That's right. I probably should have customized it. I don't know if I ever get a larger one down the line. If this goes well with the clear resin, what I want to do is I want to try and find an anime kit that's a 1/4 scale, that's fairly cool pose, and I want to try another swimsuit with the clear resin, but a larger scale. I just want to keep practicing the clear resin stuff, but I like the anime girls that are in swimsuits, and I think it fits well than just doing like the bikini stuff. I want to try something, and I just gotta see if this works. But a lot of the 1/4 stuff I've been seeing is like bunny girl outfits, which are not bad. I'm trying to come up with an idea for them, but I want to try something larger with a pool, just as an experiment. Because this AK Interactive stuff is really cool. I just want to see my limits with it. No, what I want to do is I want to submerge part of the statue in the clear resin. So I want to be able to see half of it underwater and half of it not underwater. So this right here is my base. It's basically like steps. So the idea is I'm going to put a piece of metal over here, and I'm going to pour in the clear resin, so it's going to be all clear resin up to here, and it's going to look like she's like stepping in the pool. I've tried it with the smooth on clear resin stuff, and that stuff eats up the paints, but this clear resin from AK Interactive, this water resin stuff, doesn't, but it's expensive to get a bottle of it, so you can see this is like the largest bottle of this stuff. But I want to really try something different with it, so I want to see how far I can go with it. It's just that I like the anime girl stuff in swimsuits, and because what it is I would love to have half of a swimsuit in water and half of it out, and then you could kind of create a little bit of a look to make it look like it's kind of wet up here but still dry up top, but then when you look underneath of it you see the figure. Well, that's the problem, is I don't know how far I could go with the AK Interactive. Now, smooth on stuff you can only go like an inch thick, either this way or this way, and you can only do an inch at a time, but I think if you're not careful you see the lines. AK Interactive, I'm not really sure how well it's going to work if I fill up all this with resin. So that's kind of the experiment with this kit. If it works, then cool. If it doesn't, then oh well, a lesson learned. You know, I could do the bikini stuff, but I don't want to do the bikini. I like the idea of having like a one-piece swimsuit, because I want to try to create that like submerged look, but then semi-wet up here, like the water kind of splashed up a little bit and it kind of looks a little wet there. So it's kind of like the idea I want to try. Because a one-piece, you know, like if it's like a dark color, if it's like a grayish color or a lightish blue and then it gets wet, it kind of turns a little darker. So I'm kind of trying to sort of experiments as I go on. And these anime kits are great to do that because they're not that expensive. So, and then if I could get the pattern and what I want to do, I can work that into some future 1/4 scale stuff. So, I'd rather mess around with the $30 kit than you know, a $500 statue and it not go right. So it's kind of the idea over the next year or so. Well, the idea is what I want to do is get this kind of painted up, sort of put together, and then on stream what I'll do is we'll build the wall and I'll pour it in, and then I'll have to see about the next day. Maybe do it like a Friday night stream, and then like on Saturday stream again and pop it out. I think it says it takes like 24 hours to cure, I think, on that one. I forget. Like I said, I've had that AK Interactive for almost a year now, so I don't know if it's got a shelf life. So I could run into trouble. Or maybe it'll work. Hey, Raccoon. Terrell, it all depends on if anybody wants to make it, you know? I mean, I'm starting to see a lot of guys out there taking cover artwork from comic books and utilizing those covers as artwork, you know, for 3D files. The only thing I do know, though, is if Adam Hughes is, I think his wife finds out, she'll probably go after those people. For copyright, you know, taking his artwork. I mean, I can see it happening sooner or later. I mean, hell, I would love to have one myself. But I don't know if anybody's gonna do it. But, you know, we're seeing a lot of, whatchamacallit, Alex Ross artwork stuff being made, some J. Young Lease covers. So yeah, sooner or later somebody will. I'm surprised people haven't done a lot more Adam Hughes stuff as it is. He's one of my favorite artists too. I love his art. I would love to see someone do one of the Black Canary cover, you know. His one Power Girl artwork. But like I said, I think his wife would probably start targeting everybody. So I remember when that Supergirl one you're talking about came out with, you know, years back. I know, I think they sent a cease and desist letter to whoever was making it. Not that they were making like hundreds of them. I think it was only like, what, 20 copies or like 25 kits or something. But yeah, I'm pretty sure people are going to start running out of ideas for Venomized characters and start doing artwork of, you know, artist stuff. There's only so many Mary Janes you can have Venomized. I've been seeing them all over the Instagram. So, yeah, I think I would be down for, you know, picking up some STL files of, like, you know, some famous artwork. But, I mean, it would only be in good conscience, though, if you do it to, like, try to give credit to the artist or, you know, send them a free copy. I don't know, you know, or ask them permission. See, I don't know how far that's gonna go and how much of an issue it's gonna cause. I mean, how are you gonna stop it? You sculpt the item and the ST file's out in the wild. You can't stop thousands of people taking the file and printing it, you know? You know, it's not like back in the day where you had to go to someone and cast up 25 copies and then find people to sell it. Now you just put the file up for a couple bucks and boom. So yeah, it's kind of hard to talk about, you know. I mean, how do you stop it? But how do you I don't know. I really don't. I honestly think if a lot of these guys on like these fan art groups, if they would stop looking at the new stuff that's coming out and look at some of the older stuff, they probably would do better. You know, like I said, there's all this Venomized Mary Jane stuff coming out. There's 50,000 Venoms. There's a lot of older stuff out there you could do. But then again, taking somebody's artwork, that's kind of like, you know, so I don't know. Yeah, I've heard about that Warcraft stuff and all that, but like I said, how are you going to stop it, you know? Like, once you sculpt an item and you put that ST file out on the internet for sale, you're never taking it down. It's never coming out. Like, once it's like, you know, they say once it's on the internet, that's it, it's there forever. It's the same thing with all these STL files. Once they're out there, they're out there. So Yeah, there's too much Jim Lee stuff actually, and I give my friends crap all the time. I'm sick of the Jim Lee stuff, you know? I mean, yeah, he was a great artist. 90s was booming with Jim Lee, but to me, I think there's way better artists out there now. But the sad thing is that's what sells, you know? That's what sells, so that's what's going to be keeping made. You know, you can have a Jim Lee artwork based on, you know, like Blue Beetle or Booster Gold, but it's not X-Men Jim Lee, so it's not going to sell. You gotta understand a lot of these guys do it to sell too. It's not just because they love it or they want it in their collection. You just know that they're gonna get like 60 sales or 70 sales of it, and they're good to go. Which is fine. That's just the way it works, but. But like you said, the Supergirl Adam Hughes and a lot of his older artwork, you know, Alex Ross stuff, I would love to see more of that stuff. Like, I was kind of upset when Sideshow canceled the Adam Hughes line. I was loving those statues. My favorite sculptor, as of right now, it's always been Mark Newman. I think he's my favorite. I just love the way he sculpts hand. Like, his 3D sculpting's good, but I just love his traditional hand sculpting. Because you know what it is like I said this in streams before. Like, when you look at a statue and if it's sculpted by Mark Newman, you know it's like, you can see that it's his signature. It's his piece. Like Tim Miller, like his old sculpts, you could tell it was a Tim Miller sculpt. A lot of the 3D sculpting, you can sort of tell who sculpted it and who didn't, but a lot of the 3D sculpting sort of blends together to me now. It's hard to tell, like, oh, this guy sculpted that 3D and this guy sculpted that 3D, you know? I don't know, I guess I just like traditional stuff a little bit more. But don't get me wrong, 3D sculpting is amazing, and you can get some really crazy details. I think there's a place for both, you know? I think there's a place for 3D sculpted stuff, and there's a place for traditional sculpted. So, I don't see the problem with both of them coexisting, but you get people who are like, oh, it's better quality, but there's no reason you can't have both. You know, everyone has a preference. You know, I guess, for example, Daniel Bell, when he first came out, everybody raved about Daniel Bell, his stuff, and his stuff is good. But the more and more I start to see 3D sculptors coming out of the woodworks from all over the world, it's almost like you can't really tell the difference. They're all just amazing now. Not everyone. Some people need a little work, but that's, you know, that's a different story. Alright, let's make sure we hit everything. Hopefully it stays in the base without falling. Okay, that looks alright. Hey, customizer, how's it going? wobbles a little bit, but she should stay up okay. Stay. Alright, so the idea is I mixed up my color, and I'm going to paint the areas that would have that color. I'm going to blow dry it, and I'm going to try to mask off those areas and then paint the other area like a, so this is a gray, so I think I want to put a red trim, or I might do a black trim. This is a gray blue. I don't know, let me paint this on first and see what it's looking like. So usually I like to let an area sit and then do another area later, but I want to experiment and just kind of mask this area off and mask that area off and then do the rest. So let's see what the hell happens. I don't usually suggest this, but sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Now the reason why I got a lot of pearl in there, and it's got that interference blue as well, it looks really shiny, but when you dull it down it'll give it that spandex look. So it doesn't have to stay shiny unless it's kind of wet. But what I want to do is sort of hit some darker areas on it too. Alright, let's see. So, you could use a shading color, but I want to try to use black. Not go too crazy with it. And I'm not going to have to hit too many areas. So just kind of get under the chest a bit. Over here. So it's got sort of that blackish blue swimsuit color I usually see with anime kits, or at least a lot of. There's an artist out there I follow on Instagram. He does a lot of like volleyball girl anime stuff, swimsuit. He does like schoolgirl stuff. His artwork's phenomenal. I should find a link for you guys. Actually was looking up before for the colors. Hey Lewis, how's it going? I think I found his stuff. Make sure Instagram loads. Johnson. I like his artwork. So mine has a little bit more blue into the outfit. His stuff is kind of more of a blackish, which is fine. I'm wondering if I should. This is blue, and I was thinking of doing a red on the side, like red. Maybe red will be too much. Well, most of his outfits are just one color. Yeah, I'll do red. Yeah, I like his artwork. It's very even though it's anime, it's got a real realistic pose and like anatomy to him. If you understand what I'm saying, it's really not like exaggerated. I really like how clean his stuff is. His art reminds me of like the art books I used to look at art school, like of all anatomy and different poses. So it looks like he kind of follows those, which is kind of cool. Alright, so this is a matte varnish. So I'm gonna hit it with some matte varnish. It's clogged at the moment. So the matte varnish takes away that shine, but it gives it that spandex look. Just kind of cool. So yeah, I think we're gonna do red. We're gonna do a dark red. Alright, we're gonna let that dry for a second. I've done this in the past, but let's see if I can get the camera over. Alright, so usually when we mix up our cleaner, so I still follow that one video I did. What was it? Dragon Model Works, I think it is, for cleaner. So I use my Glass Plus. I try not to use that much Glass Plus anymore because it's expensive. It's inflation. So I figure just enough water in Glass Plus will go far enough for me. Because I squirt a lot out into this bucket anyway. So that's sanded this bottle. These used to be like $1.90 something, and I think they're up to like $4 now. I don't know. So we got some alcohol, 70%. Throw a little bit of this in there. And then some of the glycerin. A couple drops of this stuff in there. And then I fill the rest up with water, and then that's what I use to kind of squeeze out all the paint into this little bucket here. So this way it's a cheaper way of doing it. It's a really good formula, so. Let me fill these up with water. Eric's style, you could tell his style, but it's I always make fun of him because every character he sculpts has a sad face. So every time on Instagram I always ask why his faces are so sad. Because if you look at his Magneto Wolverine, the mouth always goes down. You make him a little bit happy. Alright, I need to plug away on this every once in a while, so the rogue is pretty much being painted. So I want to do her green part tonight. So just kind of need to... Once I explained this rogue in a past video, how the one rogue I did in the past got lost in the mail, and it was a whole big story. So once I get this video done, you'll explain a little bit more detail. Yeah, what happened was I was ready to start painting her up. So whoever did this custom in the past, whoever did the clear coat on the eyes, what they did was, oh, excuse me, they just went ahead and took a big blob of clear resin and blopped it on the eye. So, oh, excuse me, geez, the pizza's coming right through me. What happened was when I started painting her up, the eye was missing. It was just like a big, like, marble here. So I had to get in there with an X-Acto blade and scrape out all that clear resin, and I had to break up the paint, and I had to bring the eyes back because both of them had like drops of paint on it. So that was a pain in the ass. That took a little while to do because I wanted to make sure I didn't scrape off the eyelashes, and I had to sort of scrape the eyes back, and it was just a mess. So that's an important thing. Never blob a clear resin on an eye. And then as I was working on it, ready to go, there was a lot of, once I primed it up, there's a lot of stuff in there I had to clean up. Because like I said, this isn't my custom. This is kind of like a sort of a, somebody was helping out the guy who lost his in the mail. But but I tweaked it a bit. Actually, you know what? Let's just yeah, I got stuff all over the place. It's just been one of those weeks trying to get a lot of stuff done for people. Also going to post a repair this weekend too. I got to see if I can edit tomorrow. If I do, it's a item my friend gave me to fix. So in the comments, you guys got to write comments to tell him to stop drop kicking his statues everywhere. We gotta give him some shit because he doesn't believe in display cases. Now normally I would do the yellow first and then the green, but whoever sculpted this sculpted the yellow raised up instead of just a line. So it's going to be harder to mask it off, the yellow onto the green. It'll be easier to mask the green off. Just the way it was. Alright, so before I touch her, I still want this to dry a bit, and I gotta hit it with a blow dryer, so I'm gonna put her on the side. Alright, so we're gonna do a pearlized green, but not heavily pearlized, just enough. So I'm going to do a base coat of this green, and then we'll do a little shading, and then we'll mist on pearl. We don't want to make it too crazy pearls like jumping out at you. Just enough. So we got to kind of water this down a bit. Long story short, I did this row custom for somebody last year. I sent it out to them. They're in the armed services. Somehow it never made it to them. And then some guy on eBay contacted me. Well, a guy that I've done work for before contacted me. He said he bought a Rogue off of eBay. It was the one I sent out to the client. It came broken to the guy on eBay. I asked the client, why did you have issues selling it? He said he never got in the mail, so it got lost in the mail. Somebody took it. They sold it on eBay, but they never pulled it out of the box. They just sold a Rogue, a bow and Rogue on eBay. It was the stolen one. The guy who bought it on eBay wouldn't work with us because I was willing to give him the money so we can get the statue back, and I would just get the refund from the lost, you know, from the post office. But he never got back to me. So the guy who really wanted a Rogue, somebody he knew had this customized from somebody else. So he sent it to me and I tweaked it up. I broke the arms. I did some extra stuff. It's kind of like a faster replacement than doing it from scratch again. I'll explain it all in the video in depth, but it was a shit show. I felt really bad. Did all that work. He really wanted it. And I don't know if you guys remember, there was a big thing where all the trains were getting jacked for shipping. And I think this train was the one that was going through Chicago, I think. And it got jacked, and this package probably was on that train. No, it's not the same rogue. The rogue that I did and sent out was stolen, and the guy who ended up with it on eBay who bought it never got back to me, so we don't know what happened to that statue. This was customized by somebody else long time ago. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's kind of a crappy. It's kind of a weird story, but it's also kind of crappy that the person wouldn't work with us to get the original rogue back in my hand. I don't know how well this would look with the Kodo line. I have no clue. It probably would be semi-close. Some may be a little bit larger, some might be smaller. Little mahogany in this, couple drops. So it's not black that I shaded it with. I put a little mahogany in with the green, just to give it a darker color. I'm going to lighten it up a bit, but Alright, I'm gonna use some of my water and alcohol. Get some of this pearl, only because this pearl is thick as hell. Right here. I like to do that instead of full-blown pearl on there. And I want to keep some of this paint so it goes back into my crappy bottle for whatever. Alright, we'll let that sit. Wash my hands real quick. Alright, now for this, which is going to be tricky. I think we do it. So like I say, sometimes it's not smart to do it this way, because sometimes your paint in here could stick to it. But, what the hell, let's try. So instead of trying to mask all over again, you could kind of, if you do this often, and you know how to make sure the paint you're using doesn't stick, you can mask on top of it like this. But if this is like something I'm doing for a client or something, I wouldn't do it this way. This is just an experiment, so I don't mind if it's a little messy. I was thinking red, or I was thinking gray. What do you guys think? A lighter gray or a red trim? Well, not trim, a red variation to the outfit. I'll let you guys decide. Lighter gray or red. Let's try a poll. Haven't done one of those in a while. How do we, where do I go for that? Here. Start a poll. Hey Iceman, how's it going? Hey Hulk Smash. Alright, so far Red's winning. I don't know how many people voted. Let's see. Does this drop down at all? Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay, so let's just cover underneath and see how this works out. Now red's a hard color to make pearl or well, spandex can work, but the problem is when you start adding pearls or metallics to red, you get a pink. So there's not many brands of pearl red I found that are like really good. But I think we got some paints that might work, so we'll see. So you can see how messy it is after masking it and then masking it on top, but still we're only going to be showing this area, which works. Now if I screw up really bad, like say I really screw up the line, like I didn't make that line, I could go back and fix it, or if I'm really careful, I could take like a black liner of paint and just do like a black line, so it'll split the red from there with the black line. So you can go that far to fix an item if you really had to. Like I said, this is a small kit, so it's kind of hard. But all right, so let's put her in, make sure she doesn't fall. Alright, so I guess we're going with red. Rogue, let her try over here somewhere. Alright, so I'm going to do a base color of this Evil Sun Scarlet from Citadel. I really love Citadel paints. The reds go on amazing. I absolutely love how the reds go on. At least this one. But it's a little thick, so we're going to have to thin it down just a little bit. Instead of trying to pour it out of the bottle, if it's so thick, you could just kind of get it on your paintbrush and sort of get it in the cup that way. So we're just going to do our base red first. So the Citadel goes over pretty well even with the darker color. You may have to kind of layer it sometimes, but most of the time it goes on fairly well. If you have it thick enough and it's not too watered down. That's why I kind of love the Citadel paints. Not all are great, but this one seems to go pretty well. Alright, so next step. Get her into the base. Salvage some of our paint, make sure we don't waste it. Alright, so I have this, these things don't really do much. So somebody mentioned these a while back, but I still have them. Turbo Dork colors. They go on okay, but for something like this, they don't go on like the way I want them to. But I do have red interference. A little bit left. And I have a red pearl. Now I have this red pearl here from Wicked Colors, but for some odd reason I can never really get that kind of pearl onto it. It's like, I don't know. It's like you got that cool pearl here, but for some odd reason it never mixes right. I don't know if anybody knows any paint brands that got a really good red pearl color. That goes on really nice too, not just like pink. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some water in this thing here. So this is my red interference. I only have a little bit left. It's drying out. I got to order more. But there's still enough in there to salvage. So you can always throw some water in there. Get some of it out. So the idea is I'm going to put some red interference with some of this red pearl. See, even though it's in the cup, it doesn't really look pearlish to me. So I'm just going to kind of mist it on. It gives it a pearl look with the interference and that red pearl, but not like pearl. It gives it a shiny look. You always have more luck with the interference on it than actual like a pearl paint. So what I want to do is take some of this pearl soft color, but put a couple drops of mahogany in there to do some shading. Alright, so it's got a pearl to it. It's not crazy. So I'm going to try and mix a little, do some more of this interference red. I think that's as good as I'm going to get it without making it look pink. We go back to our matte varnish. So I guess it'll pass as a bathing suit. Alright, let's try and unmask this without screwing anything up. Hopefully, so I don't know if you can, I don't know how well you can see it. It's got kind of a pearl to it, but it's not flat either. Not a bad color. So one of the reasons I don't like the rush masking and painting like this is if your colors are wet and you pull them off with the silly putty and you're not careful, that color could scrape onto a leg. So you gotta kind of be a little weary on how you pull this apart. And hopefully I didn't overspray in areas. So always try to like pull it onto other putty, and hopefully you don't rip up something you painted beforehand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a gray trim around the whole item now because it's not completely perfect. I'll do that later another day. Also be careful of your fingers. Like if you're grabbing something that's wet and you start getting on your fingers, you can get it on another area. And also don't break fingers too if it's fragile. Like here, I don't want to smash these fingers, so you gotta kind of pull it in a way where you don't snap these out. Alright, not bad. So this kind of feels like a little bit of a swimming suit, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around with gray trim, even around here. I'm going to go around with the gray trim all the way around. So we're going to have gray trim everywhere, but with the red in between. So it just kind of cleans up the edges. I'll do it another day when I have more patience. And then I think for her hair, maybe blonde or dirty blonde. Maybe a really, really dirty blonde hair. And then we'll focus on the base another time too. So yeah, I think that should look pretty cool. Not bad. Put this aside for now. Also, one thing I like to do is if I mix up my bottles of paint, so this paint is the special color, I always keep this with the item next to it on the shelf. Just in case I don't accidentally use it for another item or waste it. Alright. So let's do something else with this. I get something else to drink first. Alright, so this is, oh, it was those two. Okay. So her outfit has sort of a blend per se. It's kind of like a fade. Not sure if I really want to do that. I'm trying to think of what I want to do here. Because it's going to be a nightmare to mask off all those lines. Unless I do a blend, but then I go in there with a paintbrush and I do it like a leather areas on those lines. Like really like so. See all those silver lines on her? So maybe what I do is some kind of blend. So I want to do black and red outfit. Who's calling me here? Scam. Always a scam. So let's see. Let's mask it off while we think about it. So what I'm thinking, maybe what I do is a blend of red and then everything else black. Or I do well, see, a black shade wouldn't really work too well. Oh, wait a second, let me see here. Did they do that to the pants too? Yeah, they did. Yes, this is a dentist tool. I can actually show you the exact tool I use because it's my go-to tool for everything. I purchased a few of them. It's in here somewhere. Get over here. There it is. Yeah, so years ago, a dentist gave me this tool, and I absolutely loved it, but it started getting old. So I hunted down what the model is. So this is the model of the number, if you could find it. It's really great for sculpting and or masking, but they usually cost around $20, $30 a piece. But it's really good for, you know, taking it and then flipping it and getting in another area. So it's a good tool. I tried to order some more a year ago and they were out of stock. They said they were getting more in, so someday I'll order some more. So like I said, I want to do black and red, but I kind of want to try to follow the artwork with that blend in the inside. So the way they did it is they did a silver trim with the blend in the inside. I'm thinking let's do a blackish silver in the inside and then red leather stripes instead of silver stripes. I got the idea in my head. I think it'll work. So let's try. Like I said, I wish this stuff was bigger. Need smaller scales. Hey Joe. Yeah, Joe, why trying to jinx us? Trying to screw me up with my stuff? Didn't even realize it was Friday the 13th. Alright, so like I said, they have a blend. So let's do a mahogany / red blend, but then hit it with the interference red on it so the inside will glow, be a little silky. And then what I'll do is those lines, I'll go in with a paintbrush with a flatter leathery red, so it'll look like leather stripes on top of a shiny red item. And then this line here I'll do in black. I'll do a collar black, I'll do the other stuff black and stuff like that. I think that'll work. Instead of trying to do like a rainbow effect, I think that might, so kind of what we just did with the item before, but a little bit brighter. Let's try that. And then maybe I have another color I can pop in there. Maybe try maybe some of this too. Let's get our base red first, and then we'll hit it with some of this first. See if this works. Yeah. Let's see. Let's try that first. Sorry, I'm just kind of brainstorming while I work. Seeing if this process will come together. Let's get down there. No, I didn't get the 1/3 Deja Thuris. I actually have the 1/3 Vampirella in my kitchen right now. I plan on customizing it down later in the year. I'm not sure what character yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to customize it for something for myself or something to sell off. Kind of debating yet. See how the year goes. If there's nothing pops up, then maybe for myself. If something pops up I want more, I'll customize it for something to sell off. I just want to experiment with a 1/3 scale item. You know, I just really want to try my hands at it and see what happens. But I'll say one thing, the 1/3 Vampirella is from Pop Culture Shock is awesome. Now the heads might not be amazing, but the body anatomy is great. So what I'm thinking is maybe if I find a better head, I'll Meta-John print me out one, and then I'll swap the head onto that one. the whatchamacallit, the Vampirella I got in, quality is amazing. It's a really good paint job. It's nice and clean. The anatomy's great. It's just that the head sculpts were too close to the artwork. So I figured if I just do a different head sculpt, they'll look really cool for a custom. But a couple people I know that's been posting the Deja Thors love it. So that seems to have been doing pretty good. I think the new guys with Pop Culture Shock are doing a good job. I'm not really seeing many issues with their stuff. Oh, I'm not really sure, but then again, you know, the Sideshow one had that kind of look to her too, but then in person, sort of just, it doesn't have that metallic-y look to her. So, honestly, you know, I wish companies would actually show the prototype for sale instead of the, not the prototype, the production piece. Because the prototypes are always amazing, but you're never going to get that from a factory. Alright, so let's wash out my brush. So let's see what happens when we do a coating of this on it. See if this kind of gives it like a silky, punkish, raving color. If it shakes up enough. Ah, there is a marble in there. Not bad color. It's got a pink to it though, but I think it'll work for her. Not bad. I think this will work out pretty well. Almost feels like a satin color. Like it's got like that satin kind of satin silky PVC look, I guess you could call it. Yeah, I think with the red leather stripes on there, kind of look pretty cool. It looks a little silky, but it's got that yeah, so you know what it is, it's going from a darker to a lighter, whereas the other colors I have go from color to different color. So this one goes from like a yellow to like a red, and this one goes from a purple to a reddish yellow. They had other colors there, but I didn't pick them up. Next time I go there, they were at my place called Hobbytown. So I gotta try to get some other colors of this and start using these more often. Yeah, they're actually not that bad, but that looks pretty cool. It's actually not, that does look, now you think about it, it does look a little silky. Yeah, so if you guys can find these turbo dorks, I guess that's what it's called. This one was, I used a spicy meatball. Yep, spicy meatball is the one I just used. Okay, that works. I think what I'll do is I'll give it a satin varnish, just to kind of protect it. I need to do another session of cleaning my airbrushes. So I'm going to let that dry and move on to the next item. Okay, alright, so I'm not going to do any more painting. Got to start doing some sculpt work. Alright, let's see what we got. So we're going to put this aside. Forgot to attach her head. I was meant to do that this morning. So I'm doing a video on this. I think I showed you guys on one stream. So So I fixed up all her hair. After talking to the person, I'm going to seam up her neck and attach the head onto it permanently. I'll probably just be able to paint it better. It's going to be a little bit pain in the ass to kind of get in this area back here, but and it's not even magnetized. I thought it was magnetized. It's not. So what I want to do is glue it and then seam the neck, because underneath the neck looks like crap. Looks really really messy under there. So it'd look better if we seam that up. Yeah, so this tube of glue is going to shit. So whenever I do something gluing like this, doesn't really matter. You could kind of throw a lot of glue up in here. Just kind of get a bunch of glue. Let's get some more down in here. Double check to make sure we got a bunch. Two broke on me, so I got glue on my hand now. There we go. Now, before we screw this up, I'm going to go in there with some Aves and seam up the hair around the neck as well. Make sure no glue came underneath there. Yeah, sometimes these tubes, the piece up there seams and then it breaks, and then sometimes it starts squeezing at the bottom. Whenever that happens, I gotta throw the tube away because it starts to squeeze out on my hand, and then you grab something and then it goes to hell. So the tubes are great, but they're a pain in the ass when they go to hell. So we take our Insta-Set, grab, where is it? Squeeze some out of here. Now, I know you may say, like, why don't you paint it separate and leave it removable, but personally I like everything to look pretty damn good than keep parts removable that look like crap. So that's not going to go anywhere. I'll seam it up tomorrow because I really want the glue to dry. One thing I've learned in the past is if you put a lot of glue in there like that and then you try to put A's in there, sometimes if you kind of put that paintbrush in there, there's some wet glue, and then you pull it out in your paintbrush and the A's get all funky. So we'll just let this sit and then I'll seam it tomorrow real quick. But I got almost ready to start painting her up. I'm not going to prime her like down here because I'm a little bit worried about primer hitting some of this paint. I don't know if it's going to react to some of this, so I'm just going to kind of give it a clear coat of primer and then paint over it. I get a little bit weary with some of these fan art items. Alright, so Psylocke. Hey Hangerbird, what skin tones? The Wonder Woman? I didn't paint those. Alright, so wanted to kind of explain what's going on with her sash. So I went ahead and I dremeled out a hole. So there's a hole between this brass rod in there, and I did a lot of sanding on this. Kind of give it a nice little piece there. So this piece goes in there, no problem. Yeah, no problem, Hangerbird. So I must have glue on the table because it's kind of sticking to my hand. That's why I gotta be careful. So anyway, I went ahead and I flattened out another rod. But this time what I did is I grinded it down and I gave it a point. So the idea is I'm going to put it in there like so. And now we're going to kind of bend this rod. So this way, when I'm ready to attach this rod to here, and I put A's in there, what'll happen is this will bond into there pretty well. So this way, if you pull it out from this section here, we're not worried about any breakage. If you try to pull it out from here, then yeah, it'll probably break, or here, but I'm creating a situation where we can grab it from right there. That's kind of the idea with this. Jacob, I give acetone baths on certain situations now. If I'm going to customize an item and I need to chop it up, I'll strip all the paint off. If I'm going to just do a little custom work, I'll leave the paint on. But that's for sideshow items. That's for factory in China. That Wonder Woman item is a fan art item, so I don't know what resin they used. I don't know what paint they used. I don't know if an acetone bath would eat the item. So whenever I do to bring a fan art item to life again for someone, they understand that I can only do what I can do. I don't know who built it. I don't know what's in it, so I don't know what can happen. Sideshow stuff, you know, Pop Culture Shock, Bowen. I've been working on that stuff for years, so I know what those factories do. Fan art stuff, I don't know what's going on, so I don't attempt too much. Hanger, the reason why I'm using the flat one, actually these are not flat, they're the square hollow brass rods, and I squeezed it down. The reason why I do this is, you see all this like texture on here? See all these like rivets? The Aves bond to that better than just like a hollow, like a flat piece of rod or a round rod. So basically what we're gonna do is, so you'll see how like in here, the Aves is kind of all over the place on this rod. In here, it gives it a better grasp to it than actual round. Plus, the flatter it is, the better for, like, you know, a sash. And you don't want to just like glue this here and then put it on, because if somebody was to grab this by the wrong way, it'll just break off. So the reason why I dremel the hole through that rod into this rod is it'll bond a little bit better. So the idea right now is, I'm thinking the sash is going to kind of bend down this way. So let's kind of, so this kind of helps me just kind of bend this a little bit better. Let's kind of bend this down. And then what we'll do is, we'll kind of maybe come down around a little bit underneath the booty area. kind of. Yeah, I just had bad experiences with trying to get like rods to bond to like eaves, you know. So I just started learning just to take this hollow brass stuff and vice grip it. And if you think about it, we're sort of creating the sash with just a flat piece. So then what we could do is we sort of grab this piece, and sort of twist in a way. You know, I haven't perfected sashes yet, but I'm kind of learning as I go and trying to kind of create like waves on them and just make sure they're secured. So you can, if you want to, you can do it up this way, or, but I'm thinking more this way. And the good thing about the brass is if you really have to, you can grind it out. It's kind of in your way when you're sculpting. Now, if you really want to do some crazy better curves, if you're in the garage, you can use like on a round piece and hammer it around. If I was to do a cape, it depends on the cape. If you watch the Power Girl custom I just did from that kit, I kind of built off the cape, so it would definitely be eaves, but it would be a good rod going into the body and coming out. So if you watch that Power Girl video I just did with the 3D print one, I would build a cape more like that again, which I'll probably do for my other Power Girls I'm working on. I'm gonna do a work in progress video of the base on Power Girl when I have time. That's a personal item, so it's kind of shelved for the moment. I have to really think about how I'm gonna do the base, so give me some time on that one. But I'll definitely do a video. Plus the other thing is I'm sort of delaying my personal items for a while because I have to get my TV room built. Once I get my cases set up, then I can start working on everything. Because if I work on everything now, I'm never going to be able to display it. It'll all be on the floor for a while. I don't want to put anything on the floor yet. So I'm going to do a lot of catching up on commissions, and then I'm going to start working on my own stuff probably in the summer again. So right now it's commission grind, get my TV room set up hopefully in the next month or two, and then from there I can start planning things out better. Yeah, so I want to do the sash like that. So when you're looking at her over there, you got two little flutes going around like that. Alright, so I'm going to make some A's and wrap around there. So while I do that, hopefully I didn't slice my finger. That's the only problem with cutting this stuff. No, I'm good. Right. Just paint. Raz, are you in chat? I forgot to make the post on Patreon. So I don't think you were here last last week, Raz. I think you left early. So basically, the idea of her hands is not working. I tried a bunch of different ways. Since this is your character that won, you might know a little bit better. Hold on, where's that piece? I don't know what I did with it. Oh well. Anyway, the rod that I was going to use for her hands, it doesn't work. I gotta find it to show you. What the hell did I do with it? Alright, so anyway, I tried this with these hands and a bunch of other hands, like to have like a, the problem is these hands are not made for this, and to try to put like a baton in her hand, it's not going to work. Honestly, if I was to really do something different and bigger, I have to sculpt these arms and hands from scratch, and can't really do that. So I think we're going to have to utilize this piece and keep it. Yeah, see, I was thinking of the baton. See, I was thinking of putting a baton here, but the problem is the hands don't work. That's the problem. The hands are not going to allow me to put it on to where we want it to. That's the issue. Because if I do something thicker, her arms have to go back further. If you understand what I'm saying. They're made just for this thin piece. They're not made for a bigger piece like this. Because as you can see, it won't line up correctly. So what I'm thinking is, since you know a little bit better, and I don't think maybe any of the other patrons would have an issue, should we keep this, but maybe take off the mallet and do something else with this end piece? Like, is there anything in that movie or something that could be swapped out here that would kind of incorporate to her? Sometimes this happens with my customs, and I apologize for that, guys. Sometimes I come into something or I work with somebody, and then we get to a point and we can't do it, and we have to come up with something else because it just, the anatomy or the sculpt won't allow for it. It is possible to do this extra stuff, but then you have to go through all breakages and you're like resculpting from scratch. So my idea is we can keep this here. I can take off these, you know, these little pieces and resculpt the outfit there with her gloves. But what could we do with this that might make sense with the theme? Now, you don't have to come up with it right now, Raz. If you have any ideas, let me know. I could post it on the Patreon page and let people know what we could kind of tweak. You know, if there's something on CG Trader that we could print out and put on here instead, I'm down for that. Yeah, do some digging. Let me know this week. Give me some ideas. Because then what I might do is I might look up for... what I'll probably do is we'll kind of just sit on this for a bit. I'll kind of clean her up. And then maybe what I could do is find some elements to print out to put on for like clips here. Put on the badge for her shoulder. We'll work on her neck. We'll start planning out her hair and her head. So, no rush. You know, if any of the other patrons want to look into it and think of something that we can swap out, you know, I don't know, like, let me know, shoot me some ideas, and then maybe we could come up with something. I was hoping that this idea would work, but it's just not going to do it. Yeah, I was thinking of making the baton a little bit thicker on here, but then it would hit the neck, and it wouldn't work. You know, it sucks. Sometimes something like this, you just gotta run with what's there. I tried, but I think so far it's come along pretty well. I drumbled out the line in here. I kind of drumbled out the line back there. I just chopped up this area here to rework these lines. But I think if we could put some clips on here, rework the wrists for this, it'll come together. Well, I was thinking of Joker clips, or I was thinking if I could find some diamond clips, because there's no diamonds on her yet. So I want to figure out where we put diamonds on her. You know, do we sculpt diamonds onto her outfit, or do we just do clips of diamonds, like on the collar and clips of here diamonds? You know, I don't know. Gotta have some kind of diamond stuff on her. Why are all my pictures screwed up? What the hell happened here? Oh, damn, I updated, Oh, crap, they're gone. Damn, I updated, OBS, and all those pictures are gone. Son of a bitch. Oh, I gotta do some updating this weekend. Alright. Yeah, alright, find some ideas, Raz, no rush. Give me some feedback on it. Till then, I'm gonna do a little putty work, work out the collar. I think what we'll do is we'll do the collar tonight. And then I gotta start doing putty work in areas, clean up some of this stuff. Rework these lines here, and then go from there. And then we got to start figuring out the head. I gotta find those pictures again. Something happened. But, alright, so until we figure that out, the idea for this is real quick. Is we're gonna roll out some A's, put it around that piece like that, sand it down, get them kind of cleaned up, and then merge them together. And then once they're merged, create the knot, and then this piece is pretty much done. Pretty straightforward. So what I'll probably do is I'll get this piece on here tonight, right? And then during the week while I'm working on stuff, if I have any extra A's, I'll wrap extra A's around this piece in certain areas and I'll sand it down. Because you could kind of see in here already there's different color A's. Because that's from like extra A's I had, I would put on here and I would sand it down. And just kind of keep building it up. So little extra things like this are good for like extra A's instead of like mixing fresh A's all the time. Kind of good to have this little side project. Yeah, Hang a Bird. In the beginning, I used to mix it all with my hands, and then I start using the item. And then when I started playing with red A's, because I got it on sale, I started to realize fingerprints were all over my statue. So now when I mix my A's, I always use gloves. This way I could keep dabbing the safety solvent in there and get it softer, you know, really get it mixed up well. Alright, so before I roll this out and put it on, there's one thing I want to show you on this. So, hopefully you guys can see. Alright, so this is a hollow brass rod that is on this steel stock. So what I did is I used a Dremel tool, a metal cutter, and I notched out a little piece here, and then over here I notched out another piece, right? Now the reason why I did that is I'm going to take a little bit of A's and just sort of get it in that area. This way, once the A's cures, it's going to help lock that into place a little bit better. Because if you just, well, I just used glue in there. And if you put this in and out of the base and you grab it the wrong way, what happens is your glue starts to like crack up, and then you'll pop this out and the metal rod will stay in your item and this will come out. So adding that little extra notches in there will kind of help it stay into place. Not like the best, but it's good enough to really kind of lock it in there a little bit better. I know it sounds dumb, and it's like, why are you doing these extra steps? But if you're like any collector out there, if you kind of grab something the wrong way, and you kind of force it, you snap these pieces. So it's just kind of good to have a little extra support on it. So I'm going to go in the garage now and roll this out real quick. A USB plug? I don't know. You know what we should do? We should make Jose the first person I ban from my chat for spite. Just for the hell of it. Not because he did anything bad, just for spite. What's going on? I'm just working like a slave as always, which is good. Alright, so we got our A's rolled out. Take our safety solvent, get the baby powder off of it. Alright, so here's our piece, and real simple like last time. Just take it from there, go around. Now usually something like this I would do if the A's kind of harden up a bit. This is just way too much, but that's alright. We're gonna kind of leave it like this on the ground, let this kind of go over like that. Like I said, I'm not a pro at this sash stuff. I'm just kind of always experimenting, trying stuff. So sort of just creating a basic shape and then grinding it down and sanding it, adding extra A's helps me. Whereas I know some guys are probably able to just take some, you know, super sculpty and make a friggin' sash in like 5 seconds. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'll just leave this for now. Next day I'll get in the garage and I'll just kind of grind it down, throw some extra A's on it, keep shaping it, and then before I know it I get something like that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to build up a little bit here and a little bit in here, sort of kind of create like wrinkles. And I might kind of take this down a little bit more too, and then create more wrinkles in this. Especially when I add this piece to that part. So, yeah, it's just a matter of building it up a little bit at a time. So you just kind of push this to the side. But as far as Psylocke goes, I did accidentally break her hair. So you can see the tip here, I broke the tip. Dropped it by accident. But I went ahead and I cleaned everything up. Pretty happy with it. Had to kind of clean up some edges around here. They were pretty bad. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to add a little bit more to her. I think the hair looks good. But sometimes I'll be sitting here working on something and I'll look over at her on the ground or on the shelf and I'll be like, damn it, I need to add a little piece. But I'm pretty happy with where she's at now. So I'm still debating if I need to add a little bit here yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to yet. I gotta kind of debate on that yet. Not really sure. Something I gotta kind of mull over a little bit more. Let me wash this stuff out. Alright, I'm pretty much tapped out, but I want to show you guys Don Troy. Pretty much calling it a night, but where is my thing? So I'm going to film her tomorrow, and then I think I'm going to put her up on eBay on Sunday. But Donna's all done. Pretty happy with the way she came out. So, went ahead and just kind of finished her up while I was painting other items. Got the hair finished. A little bit of pearlized blue in there. Had to do some touch-ups. I did, the boots are a little bit different color than the base. I wanted to give her like dirty boots, kind of worn. Just kind of really wanted to change it up a bit from the base. I figured with such a nice, clean, shiny outfit, like the boots kind of textured. The bracelets, kind of like the AK Interactive stuff. And just kind of, you know, just finished her up. So I'm pretty happy with it. So tomorrow I'm gonna probably in the morning or afternoon I'll film the video. I'll try to get all the pictures up too, you know, of the process. And then what I'll do is I'll get the video listed along with another video repair I'm working on that I finished up. And then Sunday I'll throw up on eBay. She'll just be something for you know, just to supply some more projects for the year. But pretty happy with it. Yeah, well, you know, I based it off of, not this exact artwork, but close to it. So. Actually, you want to see the artwork I based it off? I'll show you guys real quick. It's a little bit risque, but, let's see. Come on, browse.